Hey everybody, welcome on board. Hey, for those that don't know me, my name is Simon and I am co-cooking today with the lovely Kerry.
Hello everybody, welcome.
Hey, it's great to have you guys on board. Hey, tonight we're making Iraqi cheese pies and we're going to complement that with a spicy tomato chutney. Now, I have to be upfront and honest with you guys. I've never made these before. And I am a little bit nervous because it does involve a little bit of dough work and a little bit of rolling and putting together. So we'll see how we go. We're also trying something new in that I have actually recorded a little bit of a video because the dough that you actually use to make this recipe has got to prove for an hour before you start using it. So at 6 o'clock tonight, I made my dough and I recorded a little video. So what I'm going to do is start playing the video. Anything else you want to say?
Alrighty guys, we're about 6 o'clock. So I'm now going to start making the dough for tonight's cheese pies. The recipe says this makes approximately 12 pies. As there's only 2 of us in the house, I'm going to halve it. So you'll notice that when I'm going through, what I'm going through is slightly different from what's on Cook I Do. So as my first step, I have greased up a stainless steel bowl. I'm going to use this to prove my dough in. So it's just lightly buttered. Let's start the recipe.
Can you guys hear this okay?
Perfect, sir.
Excellent.
So into my bowl, again, I'm only making a half mixture. I'm putting in 25 grams of water, not 50. I'm putting in 85 grams of butter that I've just cubed up. Followed by 90 grams of milk. And 1 teaspoon of white sugar. I'll make it a heaped one. And 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. On goes the lid. So we're now going to heat this up. The recipe says for 2 minutes to 37 degrees. I'm just going to put this down to 1.5 minutes. And that's going to be at speed 3. Okay. Wow, that is a beautiful, quite sweet, yeasty, but it's also quite buttery. It's quite an unusual smell. It smells almost like if you got a croissant and turned that into a drink, I guess would be the closest. Right. So into this, sorry, read the instructions, Simon. Take the measuring cup off. So I'm now going to run this for 30 seconds at speed number 3. Now, while this is happening, I'm going to crack 1 egg through the hole. Now, again, I'm doing a half recipe, so if you're making the normal quantity, this will be 2 eggs. Let's hope for no shell. It actually smells really, really good, guys. I'll be quite happy to have this as a drink. It's beautiful. And into this, I'm now going to add 325 grams of plain flour. Half a teaspoon of salt. And now my Thermi is going to go into kneading mode. Now it says to run this for 3 minutes, but again, because I'm only using half a mixture, I don't want to overwork it. So I'm just going to reduce this down to 2 minutes. Alrighty, so it's really well brought together. So I'm just going to stop it early just by pushing my button. So as you can see by what's in the bowl, it's brought together really, really well. Although it had another 30 seconds to run, I'm thinking this is enough. So it's quite a soft dough, but it's quite stretchy as well. So what's going to happen now? I'm just going to put my mixture into my lightly greased bowl to prove. Cover it with either cling film or a damp tea towel, and leave it to prove. Now it's to prove it until it's doubled in size, which is going to take about an hour. So that's the size of my dough going in. I'll see you guys in an hour.
So Kerry's decided that tonight, to go with our Iraqi cheese pies, we're going to have a spicy tomato chutney. So I'm just going to pass over to the lovely Kerry now, and I'm going to rush off and grab my dough. Hopefully it's doubled in size, and then when Kerry's done her bit, you'll come back to me and I'll carry on. Alrighty, Kerry.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, so as tonight, part of our Condiment Classic series from Dinner Sorted side, we wanted, when we chatted about this, Si and I wanted something that was actually going to really pair really, really well with these Iraqi cheese pies. And we came across this wonderful recipe, and we thought this would be absolutely perfect and pair with it. So we thought, let's give it a try and give it a go. I haven't made this specific condiment, so this is the first time I'm going to be making it too. Looks so easy. It takes around about half an hour, but I've already prepared everything, so that should be perfect. So let's jump straight into it, so we don't take up any more time. So I'm just going to go into my recipe, and what we're going to do is I have 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds, and I have got some beautiful fresh curry leaves that I've put aside. So I've measured those out and I'm putting that into my bowl, and I'm going to use that later. Our next step we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and we're going to be adding it into our mixing bowl. And we are going to be warming that up for 2 minutes, and then we're going to add our garlic, and we're going to start slowly boiling it up or sauteing it to actually get that infused flavor to come out. So I'm just going to quickly whip this up for 2 minutes on Veroma on a speed level of 2. So let that get up, and we're going to start melting that out. Love it. What I'm going to do is I'm just taking my 2 garlic cloves. I've just crushed these, and I'm going to throw it into my beautiful heated up, warmed coconut oil. And we are going to cook this up and saute it for 10 minutes on the Veroma. So I'm going to hand back to you, Si, while my garlic simmers away and cooks up.
I'm very happy to tell you guys that this dough has more than doubled in size. It's really soft. It feels almost like a Play-Doh consistency. So for the next step of my recipe, I am just going to lightly flour my dough mat here. If you guys don't have a Thermomix dough mat, go get one. They are freaking amazing. It makes it so easy to work with dough. It's just phenomenal. So because I'm only making half a mixture, instead of dividing this up into 2 and then into 6, I'm going to divide it into 2 and then into 3. So I'm going to end up with 6 pieces of dough. So I'm just going to use my spatula here. Wow, this is so soft, Kerry.
That looks absolutely amazing.
So I'm just forming these into balls with my hands.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to put them straight back into my bowl, cover them with a damp tea towel, and I'm going to start the cheese filling. Down this one. Now, if you guys know, so into my bowl, what I'm going to add is 100 grams of feta cheese. So my feta cheese has been diced up. It's about size of a large dice, I guess. So the recipe calls for 200, but again, I'm doing half. So I'm heading for 100.
So are you using normal feta there, or are you using goat's cheese feta? Or?
That is cow's feta.
Okay.
For the next step, I'm going to add in 90 grams of halloumi. Now I'm putting in a little bit of a mystery product here because I've actually got the halloumi with chili in it.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping that the chili and cheese together is going to go amazingly well. So in goes my 90 grams of halloumi. And 125 grams of mozzarella. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a whole block of mozzarella, so I had to end up getting the pre-grated stuff, but I figured it'll all work out all right in the end.
Mm. Those cheeses are just divine, right?
Oh,
yum.
I tell you what, cheese just makes my day. Absolutely. Right, so now all my 3 cheeses are in there. I am going to run for 10 seconds at speed 5. Again, I've only got half the quantity of cheese, so I should do it half the time, but because I'm dealing with grated cheese, it could take a little bit longer to mix in. So here we go. Two, one, done. Alrighty. This is very finely chopped down, so it's kind of like a very rough breadcrumb consistency. And I see I've got little bits of chili in there, so that's going to be the interesting one.
Yum.
So now we get to the scary part of the recipe, and that is we're going to start making and assembling. So again, this is not my strong point. So what I've got to do with each piece of dough, I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle. So the rectangle is going to be about 30 centimeters long by about 10 centimeters wide. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to make one of these, and then we're going to flip back to Kerry, and I'm going to carry on making the others. So according to the instructions, I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of my cheese mixture, and I'm going to run it down the long edge, so the 30 centimeter long edge of my donut. So let's see how this goes. Highly recommended. Okay, so I'm just now going to try and roll this into a large log without trying to hopefully knock all my cheese out.
Did you make that with egg, or was that, sorry, so I don't know, did I miss it? Just water, okay.
Just water. So all it was, I just used a little pastry brush.
Yeah.
And I just ran a line of water straight down the side. Oh my goodness, Kerry, this is going to be a little bit messy, I'm afraid.
That's all right. That's all right.
I think I might put a bit too much cheese in there because I was just so excited. So what
you can never have too much cheese, so you should know that by now.
So I don't know if you can see this, guys, but what I've got now is like a long tube that's got cheese in the middle of it. So I'm just rolling it out like a sausage to help it seal a bit more on the edges.
Yeah.
Then what I'm going to do is turn the edges round so they join, so we form a circle. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the end, and hopefully, oh, it looks like a snake eating its own tail, Kerry.
It does, Si.
Oh, righty. Actually, this is actually quite big. It's about the size of a bagel.
Wow. It's going to be a tasty snake.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my little completed one. So
awesome.
I'm just going to carry on and make my other ones, and I'm going to switch back to Kerry.
Radio. So what we've done is we have got our garlic has been sauteed in our coconut oil, and what we're going to do now is we're just going to be adding our chili, and we are then going to saute that for another 2 minutes, and then we're going to cook that again for another 10 minutes. So what I've got is we have got some beautiful chilies. And I am going to be a bit of a daredevil today, and I've got my wings to be the daredevil. So I don't normally de-seed my chilies, or I should say I do de-seed them. But today my husband said, let's make it really, really spicy. So I said, okay.
Are they homegrown, Kerry?
That's something I can't grow, Si, is chilies. But I think it's definitely something I'm going to give it another bash in the new year, coming up with my garden. So I've got 5 beautiful big red chilies that I'm going to be adding in. So these are just all going to go into my thermi bowl. And what I've got here is 1 beautiful tablespoon of ginger paste. Now this ginger paste, I must say, has been store-bought. It's still,
Kerry.
Yeah, I know, Si, but I did buy it.
S word.
I know. But you know what? I bought it a while ago, and because I always use fresh ginger in everything else I make, and I thought, well, I've got to get rid of it, so I'm going to have to use it today. So I am buying store-bought that one. So, but I don't normally. But when this is finished, I'm definitely making my own paste, and it's so easy to make. Hey, Si? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to cook this for 2 minutes on Verona on speed 1. And so what I'm going to do, I've got my carrots. I've got 1 carrot that I've just sliced into pieces. I'm going to be adding that into my bowl. And then I have got 5 grams. Basically, not 5 grams. 500 grams, or what it is 5 really yummy chunky tomatoes, beautiful fresh tomatoes. And what I've done is I've actually taken the soft parts of the seeds out. So all we want is the hard or the fleshy part of the tomato. So we're going to be adding that in. And I'm just going to throw that in. So the idea on this chutney is you want quite some wonderful textures. So you want that chunkiness of the hard parts of the tomato not to go all mushy and thin. So you want different textures within this chutney. One thing I did not get was how do I say this? Asafoetida. Does anyone know about that? Apparently you can get it in a lot of Indian shops. I unfortunately didn't have a chance to go and get that, and I couldn't find it on my travels. But what I did do was find some research that you can actually substitute that for a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic flakes. So what I'm going to do is just add that in. And
how did you find that substitute, Kerry?
I actually just Googled that. And okay. Yeah, and Kathy, you're so right. It's the one to stop flatulence. Yeah, I Googled that, and that was the first thing that came up. So I thought, wow, I know a couple of people that could handle that. Anyway, so I won't embarrass anyone. Anyway, so yeah, and I've just got also a little bit of salt. So I've got a teaspoon of salt, and I'm also going to be adding into that. And now what you need now is also to cut that tartness out, because this is going to be really, really tart. I'm also taking 2 teaspoons of white sugar, and I'm going to be adding that into my mixture. And that is that. Now we're just going to put our lid on, and we are going to cook that for 10 minutes on Verona on reverse speed speed 1. So we're going to go back to you, Si. How are you going with those beautiful bagels?
What I've got here, guys, I've just broken egg into a little container. I've added a tablespoon of water. I am just going to get a fork and mix this up. And this is then just going to be brushed on top of my little cheese pies. Okay, here we go. So I'm using my Thermomix here, Kerry. The recipe itself asks you to line a baking tray, but with the Thermomix, don't have to worry about that. I just shove it on, nothing sticks. It's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome, Si. And you've just done that with some salt too, or is that salt, or are those the seeds?
That is just the egg and water wash, and then it's also got the sesame seeds sprinkled on top.
Oh, awesome.
So this is now going to go into a 180-degree oven for 20 minutes. Wish me luck. How's your chutney going, Kerry?
So my 10 minutes are off. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to blend this for 5 seconds. And as this is, I'm just going to turn this up to speed level 4 just to get it blended together. So I'm just going to busy doing that.
Kerry, have you made a hollandaise yet?
I have, Si. Also so easy to make. You just whack all the ingredients in and it's done. So easy.
Oh my goodness, we've got a couple of suggestions here. Kathy's suggesting that we do a lemon meringue pie.
Ooh.
And Susie's suggesting a lemon cheesecake. Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Oh, that does sound good. Just one thing is, I would love to know, was it Kathy? The lemon meringue pie, do you use condensed milk when you make your own lemon meringue, or do you make it from scratch, your condensed milk? Because there's a beautiful recipe. I haven't done it yet in the Thermomix for the condensed milk, but it looks really, really simple and easy to make. I still cheat with condensed milk. I've got a family old recipe for that condensed milk. Not condensed milk, my lemon meringue pie, and it goes down really, really well. Oh, worth a try, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
so what I've done is I've just transferred my tomato relish, sort of ish, into a bowl. And what I'm going to do now is I am not going to clean my mixing bowl. What I'm going to take is another tablespoon of coconut oil, and I'm lumping that into my mixing bowl.
I was just going to ask, if you taste the sauce you've made so far, is it quite chili-ish?
Should I give it a try?
I really think you should.
Should I get some water? Should I get some milk? Because, you know, I haven't got my wings for the daredevils yet, but let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Yeah. That would be capital spicy. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I could just see it on your face, my sweet.
Yeah, we've got 38 seconds, Si, and then I'm just going to be adding into my spices, and then we are really done. So just waiting for my coconut oil.
What's in your spices?
So we've got the coriander. We've got 2 tablespoons of coriander, whole coriander seeds. We've got some beautiful black mustard seeds, and that's a teaspoon. And then I've got a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, and then beautiful fresh curry leaves. I've got about 7 or 8 curry leaves that we're going to be throwing in. And we're going to be putting that into that beautiful hot coconut oil. And we are going to be setting this up for 1 minute on speed 1. And we are going to let that roast and cook. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to gently turn this into our spice mix, our tomato relish.
Well, that's what I thought too, but I really like spicy things.
Yeah. So what I've got, there's my spice mix, as you can see. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put that into my tomato mix.
Does that not get chopped down, Kerry?
No, it doesn't, Si.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do, and so what it's saying, it's actually tempered. So that's probably the word I was looking for. and it says into the bowl and stir to combine those sauces. Those smells are absolutely beautiful, and those mustard seeds actually are just popping out, and they're looking really, really good. So those little curry leaves that I've got are going to be just going into it, and I think that just actually is going to infuse that flavor as we go. So what I'm going to do is now do a wonderful little tip here is I've got my mixing bowl lid, and I've got this into a sterilized jar that I've already done. If you are wanting to know how to sterilize jars, you can head on over to Dinner Sorted Facebook page. There's a video showing you how to sterilize it. So easy, so simple in the Verona. Go check it out. So what I've got is I'm just decanting this, and I'm using my bowl as a funnel. Sorry, not my bowl, my lid. So I'm just going to add that in, and this is going to make easy 2 little jars of about, so it's probably about 600 grams that we've made here. Yeah.
Oh, Kerry, my kitchen smells absolutely amazing.
Oh, I can't wait to see those come out the oven.
Okay, I'm just going to switch over here, guys. So here they are here, guys. Oh, a lot of the cheese is spilled out. That's probably because my sealing technique hasn't been the best. But so at this point here, what it says to do is to let it sit and cool for 10 minutes before you eat them. So out of the 4 I made, there's only actually 1 that hasn't filled the center with cheese because it's come out the side, but it smells absolutely divine. Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope the rest of the week treats you well. And don't do anything that myself and Kerry wouldn't do. I know that doesn't need much, but just play it safe. And,
and keep safe and keep warm. Yeah.
Catch up with you guys later.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.